seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite, conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. Oh, Carrie, what is going on?
Oh, it's a lot, man. We haven't had a show since we were in Louisville, have we?
No, yeah, we took off last Monday, and then we're back, and then we're off for the next 2 weeks because we got a PCA that will be traveling out to New Orleans for that event. But
wow.
But first, let's light up a cigar. I haven't had a cigar yet today.
Nice smoking.
Man, I am smoking I'm still winding my way through the Cigar Prop 10th anniversary bundles. I've got a lot of bundles opened up, so I'm testing. I'm on my second bundle of cigars that I've smoked, and I need to sell these things before I just.
Would you like to apologize to me now?
Yeah.
Would you like to apologize to me for all the times you busted my balls about smoking cigars?
Well, this is quality, QC care or QA quality assurance. So big difference.
I told myself the same lie. It's cool. You lie to yourself. That's all right. You make it. It's a damn good cigar. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, thank you very much.
After about 5, I think the QC's overdone with, and then from there you just lying to yourself.
Yeah, now I'm just lying to myself. So, Kerr, yes, did you ever have one of them days like yesterday? So it was my only day off, Sunday, Easter. This working 6 days a week crap we need to hire somebody at work because it's getting old real fucking quick. I'm going on, since the beginning of the year, and it's just, man, I'm tired. But yesterday, man, I was fucking on fire yesterday. I had 100 things to do. Probably 24 things to do that are on my list. And man, I got everything done except like one little thing that, on my list. And that was like an overflow if it didn't get done. But it was, you ever just have one of them days like you're going back and forth, you're multitasking like you've never multitasked before. And it's just like, because normally I start to get freaked out, like the closer it gets to noon. Because like noon's my official freak out. Like if I don't have an X amount done by noon, I'm like, well, I'm fucked. I am fucked. This day is over. Like at noon. Wow. So I give myself until noon to get to a certain point of my to-do list, and then I'm like, I've got a lot done. I'm like, all right, let me take a look at the clock, and I'm like 10:30. I'm like, fuck yeah, 10:30. So then by the time noon came around, and I'm like, man, I got another 8 hours to work. And my list is winding down, so I felt good. So
yes, I've had moments like that. Oh, by the way, I am smoking the
Mr. Sinistro.
Sinistro. So from the Jury of 6. It's a great fucking cigar, and a great case that you created for James.
The world's best case, and it clicks.
That's
the tagline, and it clicks.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I'll start my day, and I have to have especially in the mornings, during the weekends. It's I have two things that I judge it on. First of all, is when I start my day, my work. So what I'll do is I'll make sure it's like, okay, I have my routine in the morning, and I'm like, I need to start my day I need to start my shit by 9:30. If I don't, that's when I'll always be off a little bit. And then like you, once I kind of get to that noon mark, I'll be able to assess on how well I am. And man, there's nothing better than being ahead of schedule. And the antithesis is when it's noon and you're like, son of a bitch, I got one thing on my list done partially. And I got more to do. And I should at least be halfway through this freaking list.
And then you're just thinking, should I just take a nap and say fuck it? No, you just you muscle through it, and like I said, you're just always behind. But
it's like I think I get pissed off at myself for about a minute or two, and then I'm like, well, it's my day off, and whatever I don't get done today, I'll get done in the morning. I'll tell myself that lie. But it is. I'll tell you what, man. Like you said, there's nothing more rewarding when you have a laundry list of shit to do and you're just multitasking. This weekend is not that for me. This past weekend, Jennifer's been sick. So Saturday, we had the guy come out and install our fiber optics. We got Wow fiber optics, and then Jennifer's friends, or coworkers, fiance came over and gave us an estimate on flooring for the hallway and the upstairs, and then we sat out here and we had a drink and smoked cigars and shot the shit. And then Jennifer was not feeling well; she went in the house, and I kind of sat there. I'm like, I got nothing to do. I actually woke up early and cleaned and got things organized, so I really felt good by the time the cable guy showed up, he was actually an hour early. So I was feeling pretty good. I still got a little bit more to do. But the afternoon, I kind of sat down, and Jen was in there. She's been pretty sick. I had nothing to do, Kevin. Nothing.
Oh, there's always something to do.
But I had a very busy week. Like you said, after a week where I'm just cranking and busy and it's nonstop, I felt okay. Jen's like, I'm really sorry, I'm not feeling well. We can't hang. I'm like, no. You go inside and nap. I'm gonna sit out here and just enjoy nothingness. And it was beautiful. Loved it.
When there's nothing to do, there's time for a nap. I know you're not a big napper, and I like that 2:30 nap, sleep for about an hour. Get up around 3:30. It's a good part of the day. You still got plenty of daylight left to get things done. It's that's the golden time.
No, not me. I'll just sit down and watch some TV, listen to, like you said, podcasts, or I'll just sit. I sat here and smoked a cigar and had nothing on and just enjoyed the quiet and the beautiful weather. And I just was like, this is perfect. I'm completely happy and content right now. And then Sunday went to my sister's for a brunch, watched the kids do some Easter egg hunt, and then I came home and did more of nothing. I did a little bit of stuff around the house, but other than that, I cleaned the lounge on Saturdays. What I did in my work area, I really cleaned it good because it was in desperate need of it. And I'm trying to figure out, with all my spare time, when I'm going to clear everything out of here, do a deep clean and a repaint, and then kind of reintroduce everything into the lounge and work area. So I gotta watch myself because as well as I do, man, this weather just sneaks up on you. It goes from being decent and cool and a little warm to hot and humid constantly. And the last time I tried painting in here, when I did paint, it was fucking hot. It was humid. My kneecaps and fingernails were sweating. That's how hot it was.
Oh, yeah.
It just sucked.
Yeah, you definitely, painting when it's hot and humid, it's never good for the paint. Paint doesn't want to dry, it's just pain in the butt. But I mean, I missed the 2 days. I missed the 2 days off in a row where I just split everything up and I'm not having to worry so much. Sunday I had to spend some. I woke up Sunday morning and in a good mood because I had 50 or 60 orders from my website. I'm like, oh man, what a great day. So I just logged on my computer after I got out of bed, and then like all the orders had failed, all fucking spam. So since every day, 50, 60, 70, 80 orders trying to go through. No, that was Saturday morning. And then Sunday morning, I finally had to break down and ask ChatGPT how to fix this, and because it was a bot farm trying to get into my website. So of course I had to download another plugin, pay for that and configure that. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. You get like, oh, these are a lot of good orders, and then like, no, they're all bots. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's fucking worse, man.
So
you know what's going on in an app? What's that called?
No, and I only got about a dozen today, so the app worked.
Oh, nice. You know what's going to happen in about just under 2 hours?
What's that?
Michigan Wolverines are going to be playing for the national title for basketball.
Oh, is that who they playing?
They're playing Connecticut.
Connecticut, UConn, the Huskies.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite over under? I mean, I don't know. I didn't follow it outside the 8.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm not a basketball fan. The back and forth, it's just so monotonous.
It's I gotta tell you, that's why I am a Michigan fan. I do like watching basketball, college basketball. Michigan's favored to win. I'm trying to figure out the point spread here.
I hope they fucking lose epically.
But see, that's where with Michigan versus you're an Ohio State football fan. You're not an Ohio State sports fan.
No. I mean,
Ohio State basketball is terrible. Your hockey team sucks. Your girls' team sucks.
What do you know? Our hockey team's pretty good.
No. So I'm kind of like, I ride that wave of Michigan. It's like football, yeah, okay, have a good season. Well, there's basketball. So I actually growing up when I was in high school, football and basketball were my sports I played in high school, and those were the ones I watched all the time. And I'm glad to see Michigan back up there for the title, and it's going to be interesting, man. I'll tell you, it's their favorite. They're dominant. They're just really playing great basketball. But UConn's no joke.
I think what was the national championship we just won for Buckeye? It was like fencing or something. I don't know.
Yes, congratulations on your Ohio State fencing team.
Something like that. Let me see if I can.
The Garden Perry national champs. Let's see here. You got Ohio State score. Let's see what they got here. Their official website.
The Ohio State Pistol team won their 6th consecutive national championship in March 2026. Suck it, Kerr. Let's see.
I can't argue when the pistol team's winning.
Artistic swimming, Kerr. Lock that shit in.
Better than autistic swimming, but yes.
Yeah. So,
hey, listen, man. You got great football. I never denied that. However, I did read that the Ohio State Buckeyes, the number 1 ranked, the Ohio State Buckeyes survived against USC and defeated the Trojans 4-3 in men's tennis. Well done, Kevin.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Men's tennis is crazy there in Ohio State. But I mean, we talked about before. These programs. When you're in college like that, you have multiple big programs like Michigan does for basketball and football, and even their hockey program. They bring in a lot of fucking money, and they really do supplement a lot of the other sports. So you can imagine something like how much money that football team's got to bring in to supplement the men's tennis team, who's ranked number 1. Granted, congratulations, But there's a lot of stuff there. I mean, that brings in so much money. It's ridiculous. But I'm excited. Honestly, I think Michigan. You don't want to just kind of turn out the lights, at halftime, and be like, oh, the game's done, because look at what happened recently with Duke and who was that? God, who's that? Oh God, Hurley. Who's Hurley the coach of?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Duke. It was Reiki. Duke. Oh shit, I have to find it. But there's a Danny Hurley played for Duke, and his brother is Dan Hurley. Oh yeah, that's right. It's UConn. Okay, so Dan Hurley is the coach of UConn, who's a national champion. Okay, I can't really remember that. And UConn played Duke. And you didn't see the end of that game?
No, I did not.
So Duke, Duke lost by 1 point. It was 72-73. So at the end of the game, UConn was moving the ball. They were down. They were down by 3, right? Or I can't remember. It was down by 5 or something. But the guy got fouled, shot, and foul shot, missed the first one, made the second one. So now they're down by 2. So they're down by 3. Now they're down by 2. There's 10 seconds left in the game, and Duke's taking the ball out. Now, when you're the team taking the ball out, you have 10 seconds to take the ball and cross the midcourt. 10 seconds left in the game. All you have to do is pass the ball in and hold it and wait for them to foul you intentionally and go on the foul line and ice the game. Duke throws the ball in. They pass it around. Panic. The guy freaking throws it. Gets swatted. Intercepted. Throws back. The guy tosses up a three-pointer. Ices it. Wins the game by 1.
Oh.
And I watched that and I said, that Duke coach should be fired, because after that kid made the foul shot, Duke's still up by 2. They were moving the ball like they were behind. And I'm like, you have 10 seconds to cross that midcourt. That coach should have been like, throw the ball in and hold the ball and just do not move until someone fouls you.
Yeah, and I agree. What's going on, hologram?
But
yeah,
crazy ending, and I was like, watching, going, you got to be shitting me. And Dan Hurley's his brother Bobby Hurley played for Duke, but Dan Hurley's known for being kind of just a tell it like it is jackass, and he's not favorable amongst the a lot of folks, but he always talks about he's coaching men who need to go out in the real world. So the real world's not an easy place to live. So I can't be super soft on these dudes. I got to be kind of a dick, because the world is kind of dicky.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking, chew you up and spit you the fuck out.
Yeah. So that's it's going to be an interesting game tonight, because, like I said, there are no like long shot seeding. Michigan's ranked number 1. UConn's ranked number 2 in their division. So, you know what I did do yesterday, Kevin? And I hadn't done this in years. I watched the Flyers game.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey players are not athletes.
Yeah.
So I watched the Flyers game for the first time in a while. Like, I follow them online, and they started off this year really tough, really rough. They, playing on and off, up and down, up and down. They've been playing good hockey yesterday. So yesterday they played the Boston Bruins, and they were playing for a spot as a wild card going into the playoff season. Only a couple games left, and they beat Boston in overtime 2-1. And they didn't secure the spot, but they are now in the lead, and they are now a wild card contender. But they had a kid in there who played at Michigan State for 1 year. He played in juniors. 19 years old. It was his fourth professional hockey game. He got his first goal.
Oh, get out of here! How cool is that?
He's the someone may want to do a accuracy check on this. Up on the wagon, Kerr. What are you fucking talking about, JJ? Be Pacific, please. He's the first player in NHL history that scored his first goal as a rookie in overtime.
How cool is that?
And what was really, Porter, it was really cool is he had an assist and he did it. I'll send you a clip. He freaking did a little freaking between the legs, freaking boop, little redirection of the puck. Guy took the puck up the ice and scored. But we don't get hockey down here. It's the South. They're not big into hockey, and I haven't watched the Flyers in years. But it was good watching a Flyers game for first time in a long time. And I was glad to see they won. And if they make the playoffs, I'm going to be watching a lot more hockey this season.
I may have to try and sit down and watch a hockey game on TV. And maybe it's less boring on TV than it is in person. So
I hear that. You're the only person I know that's the opposite. People who have watched hockey on TV and go to a live event tell me that the live event is a hell of a lot better than watching it on TV. Seeing the line changes and shit, you understand it. You see what's going on.
Yeah.
So you're the only person I've met, Kevin, that said that is the direct opposite of watching hockey.
So, and most sports, I prefer to be there in person. Football, I prefer to be there. As the older I get, I don't want to go to games anymore. I don't want to go to sporting events unless I've got club seats or box seats. I'm not sitting down with the people and having to muscle and get food and go to the bathroom and that whole big rigmarole. I'd rather just stay at home, watch it and make my own nachos, have my cigar, pause the game, go to the bathroom, so.
Yeah, I'd rather watch football on TV. I think I would like to go to there's a couple of places I wouldn't mind going to see some football, but JJ, I'm not like a fair weather Flyers fan. I've been a Flyers fan since their run in the 70s when I'd sit and watch the Broad Street Bullies with my dad on the couch, sipping beer out of a little blue cup. But
have you seen them live?
Flyers? Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, same here. I've seen them twice.
I know, you bastard, you. I know, man. And the best part is when the first hockey game you ever went to. It's like Kevin's first hockey game. He's in a luxury box. J.C. Newman's luxury box where you can smoke cigars, watch a hockey game, and it went to overtime, and it went to a shootout. And I'm like, you couldn't ask for anything better going to a hockey game. I used to go to hockey games a lot growing up because I lived near Hershey. So we used to go. My uncle was a linesman in the AHL and the NHL, and he also did work with the ECHL and a lot of the American Hockey League and some other leagues where the movie Slapshot. Yeah, the guy who wrote that played in one of the hockey leagues, and he refereed and was a linesman in that league. And some of the stories he's got, man, you can imagine being a freaking a linesman or a referee in a hockey league in like freaking upstate New York, Canadian border, freaking Western Pennsylvania. He said it was a fucking madhouse. That some of the things in Slapshot, he was like, this is the way those fucking guys were.
You're gonna have to pick out like during the regular season. You'll have to, obviously, it won't be a Flyers game, but you'll have to pick out like a game where like you can come down. And I'll get the tickets and it'll just be whatever game you want to, game you want to see.
mean, for the longest time there, the Tampa Bay was like the Flyers secondary team because it seemed like everybody who played for the Flyers went to Tampa Bay to win a Stanley Cup. But yeah, we used to go to Hershey a lot, and they were the farm team for the Flyers for the longest time. So I got to see Ronnie Hextall play for the Bears before he went to the Flyers, and then they always did a exhibition game in preseason. It was always doubleheader. It was the Bears and somebody else versus the Flyers, and they always played the Capitals. So I remember going when it was, I think, Bobby Clark and Bob Kelly's last year. Tim Kerr was a rookie when I went to go see them play up in Hershey. And then we used to go to Philadelphia a lot to go see them play at the Spectrum and then First Union Center, the FU Center. We went up to New York to see them play hockey. I seen them play in Montreal when I was working with a guy in upstate Albany. He played college with Sean Podine, who played for the Flyers, and he got tickets and we went to go see them play in Montreal, which was fucking awesome. So I mean, I've seen them play enough, and I worked for a company where we had the boxes, the super boxes at Smith Klein Beach. So you could take doctors and stuff back when you could do that kind of shit. So I got to see a lot of sporting events, but we always would go to the hockey games. The one sport that I find boring on TV, and I find it twice as boring in person, is baseball.
I love baseball in person. I love watching a baseball game. So just the atmosphere, it's so cool. So I like baseball.
Watching baseball on TV is like watching paint dry on TV, and going and watching it live is watching paint dry live. Yeah. I mean, I've never been a big baseball fan.
I'm not a big. I spent my youth watching baseball, so or going to spring training and live games. Yeah. That was a good thing in the Tampa Bay, the Rays. Mm-hmm. They made it family friendly. Because for the longest time, parking was free at the stadium. You only paid if you did these other lots. Like a family of four could go see a baseball game. Excluding food, but a lot of these were still $15, $20 tickets. $12 tickets on some games. So you could take a family and go watch a baseball game and have a good time and not have it break the bank. So we watch a lot of Rays. A lot of times we go up for not necessarily for the Rays. Like when the Yankees came in town, we always went and saw a Rays Yankees game. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I mean that's I've enjoyed going to baseball games. Just I don't prefer it. Just for me, it's just very very boring.
Yeah,
it's very slow, and but. I think like you, it's like I've been to some football games where now I enjoy watching it on TV. I don't want to be sitting there. Did he catch that ball? No, I want to see it on TV. I want to see it in slow motion. I want to see it reverse, and I want to yell at the TV if I disagree.
I agree 100%. I'm the same way. Because
we're crotchety old men.
Yeah. So Kerr, we got a new segment of the show. It's actually our first segment, and I decided we'll do it this year. KMA Talk Radio. Everybody knows Honest Abe Dababna, Smoking Cigars. He does KMA Talk Radio every Saturday, and for the last couple of years they've done Tales of the Tape, and we should have been doing it the whole long because I like that segment. I'm not copying their segment per se, but they pick a topic each season, and they each week everybody will name starting with number 10, counting down to their number one thing. They've done TV theme songs, they've done TV dads. This season is the top 10 inventions of your lifetime. So everybody on KMA Talk Radio is a different age, and they usually have a guest on each week as well. So the guest will chime in. So I'll share my.
This where you make fun of me. This where you make fun of my age, Kev.
Yeah. So this was actually this was last week's. No, this was the first week. Pick number 10, greatest inventions. We had Alex with the Super Soaker, lame. Coop with the video console. Honest Abe, cryptocurrency, and this was Fred Rui with the Sony Walkman. So
That
out of
is
those,
brilliant.
yeah, I went with a video console. But what would you have gone with?
I
Kerr?
did. I weighed in, and
Did you? Okay.
yeah. I actually think Coop probably still has the video console. No disrespect to Coop, but I went with the Sony Walkman.
Yeah, it was in your generation. That was
That was a game changer, bro.
Yeah,
that's a game changer. Now the video console was too, man. The video console was like, you had that friend when you rolled in. It was just like, dude, you want to check out my freaking console? He came in. It was like, it was all stacked. It was a centerpiece of someone's living room.
Oh yeah. And then we'll go to next week's or this past Saturday. Pick number 9. So we got Alex with self checkout, Coop with LCD liquid crystal display, Honest Abe with lithium ion battery. I don't know who that is in that picture. That with the Auto Wild Grill. I don't know what that is.
What?
Yeah, WILED. I think someone just added their own. Right. I don't know who that is. And then Nick with El Mago cigars, pyrolysis reactor, revert plastic to gas. So I chose lithium ion battery.
Yeah, I'd go with lithium ion battery too. I think.
Yeah, that was that definitely revolutionized a lot of things. Made a lot of things real good. So
I understand Nick's El Mago. He's a younger guy and probably his generation. That was
I heard Nick's a real big conspiracy theorist. So
I actually started watching the series Conspiracy Theory, and I'm going to give it a couple more episodes because it came recommended by on JFK Jr.'s death.
Yeah,
it was not good.
Yeah. That kind of sucks.
Well, it wasn't that the conspiracy theory was weak. It just was the whole show was the whole. So I'm going to give him one more. I'm going to give him a couple more conspiracy theories. I'm going to give him an opportunity, and if he doesn't pull through, I'm going to have to pull out.
All right. So, Kerr, what is your number 10? What is the number 10? The greatest invention of your lifetime?
Now, this is in no way, shape, or form in order of anything. I kind of put them together, but
I went in order.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well,
that's okay. You don't have to do that.
Well, I'm trying to think if I'm going to be, because I don't want to start off. I'll start off. It's the personal computer.
Yeah.
PC. I mean, I remember being in college and having my electronic typewriter, which could conceivably be on a list, and only a handful of folks on our campus having a PC, and those were the people that everyone went to that wanted to print off, type up and print off their reports instead of doing it on your little personal PC on your electronic typewriter. And we had we had a computer room for classes because we had computer classes. There was only a couple down there, and that was it. So that was late 80s, early 90s, where personal PCs and it was not a thing.
Oh, JJ says it was Evan Darnell. Okay, I couldn't tell that picture is so small. So it was Evan Darnell, the Auto Wild Grill. So of course Evan. So some kind of grill. I'm gonna have to Google, or what do you got there, Kerr? You got the while you're looking up the OTTO Auto, and then WILED grill. So my number 10 spot something near and dear to my heart. In 1981, Karen, remember I was only born in 1977. In 1981, McDonald's introduced the Chicken McNugget, but it wasn't until 83 that it went nationwide. So the Chicken McNugget, that was the height of portable food care. That just that made the way, it paved the way for so many other small, snackable, portable foods. The McNugget. How many parents out there have prayed the McNugget? The only thing their kids would eat was a McNugget. It saved lives. Care. How many kids didn't get choked, and then because of the McNugget,
the Chicken McNugget. Yep.
And then I forget. We talked about this on the show years ago, and I forget whose kid. They used to peel the nuggets because they didn't like the outer shell, but they only liked the inner part.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who we were talking about. That their kid peeled the nugget. Peeled the nugget.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember the chicken nuggets coming out. That was back when going to McDonald's was like a family event, and it did not happen all the time.
Oh, without a doubt, you know, it's like we're going to McDonald's. Like, whose birthday is it? Like, and it wasn't because my parents like us. We have full refrigerators and cabinets like you do. We can eat whatever we want anytime we want, but we get fucking bored, or we get late. We get lazy, and then we'll be like, you know, it's like, oh, let's just run to McDonald's.
Go to McDonald's. Back then, it was like, we're going to McDonald's. I'm like, who died? Like, what bad news you have to tell me?
Yeah, you know, every year for Easter, my grandmother, or no, not for Easter, for Christmas, every holiday, my grandmother would send us down these packs of like goodies for each of us kids for all the holidays. Christmas time, we always look forward to it because we got a book of McDonald's gift certificates.
Yeah,
oh my god, and we're like, man, like we had those, and we'd get to go to McDonald's and pay with our own money, and we could get whatever we want because so you either used all your book on the first time, you know, or you spaced it out and you could go a couple of times. So, but yeah, it was that was a treat. You know, like we drove to Ohio like every other summer. It might have been every summer. I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but every now and then, like on the one, like a trip either on the way up or back, like there'd be the McDonald's, and it was just, and you weren't allowed to order. Dad ordered everything for everybody. You know, nobody was allowed to order what they wanted. Usually we all got Happy Meals, which we were all happy with anyways because we got the toys.
Does my microphone sound all right to you?
It's a little like echoey. It was that way last week as well.
Is that better?
I don't say something again. I was drinking.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's a little better.
All right. Well, all right.
What's going on, Derek?
But yeah, God, I remember, I remember when Star Wars, when the Return of the Jedi came out, and McDonald's did the glasses, the Star Wars painted glasses.
Yeah.
And you were just like waiting because you didn't have fucking internet, you didn't have phone, you didn't have any of that shit. You had maybe a glimpse of a commercial that you caught the end of, you know, of when it was going to be available. And most of the time was freaking bothering the shit out of your parents. I think the McDonald's, I think the new Darth Vader glass is out. I think the Darth, because you didn't know when it was going to be out. You just kind of had a guess, you know, but maybe I was young. Maybe they had the announcement. My parents just didn't want to tell me because I was paying the ass. But I used to love their Happy Meals. And like you said, I mean, I'd probably have a handful of memories of going to McDonald's with my parents and my family. A handful of memories, you know. My kids probably have a handful of memories of when we went to McDonald's in a given year or a given month. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and now it's gotten to the point now where it's just, like, hey, you want anything from McDonald's? Or, the people are like, I don't know, and we try not to eat, like, literally maybe twice a month. We're so busy now, and Jess, with the kids taking them to do their things. Sometimes it's just easier. We do try and eat like at Culver's, a little more because they're a little healthier. But yeah, it's kids nowadays don't know that, like, the joy of McDonald's.
No,
like when you can remember eating it a couple times a year.
Yeah,
like that's not what we did. We did pizza night. Like once a month. Like my dad would go down to a Little Caesars, me and my dad. And always the 2 pizzas in the big long package, and I get to ride home holding the pizza, and you tear that, tear the box open, and then all the pizza smell comes out, and like those were treats. I mean, my mom cooked every night, and they were, and I look back and they were the boringest foods, but we had lasagna night, chili night, or spaghetti night, goulash, and they were all home meatloaf, which my dad, a huge fan. But they were all home cooked meals that were good for you, and that's what it's like now. Like we look back and it's just like how the fuck did she do that? Like every night. Meatloaf night was then you had a leftover meatloaf night, depending on how big of a meatloaf she made. So, but
leftovers were always. My mom would always cook enough, because it was like, okay, if we eat spaghetti on a Monday, we had spaghetti Tuesday and Wednesday, because she cooked enough for leftovers, to last you for a couple of days. And I tell you what, I gotta hats off to Jennifer. I gotta give her props in many areas, but this specific is, when you hear somebody say, well, I'm too busy, I work all the time, I don't have time to cook. And then I see Jennifer come home after working a full day, walk in, and then is like, within an hour ago, hey, dinner's ready. You go in and it's a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah,
or it's lasagna, or it's like tonight was like one of those nights where she just made homemade Cuban sandwiches. Just kind of like got the ingredients. Jennifer can literally come home and cook after working all day, and she even did it when the kids were young too, and whip up a ridiculous freaking meal in an hour, and then it's all homemade. It's all freaking, it's not like she's like, yeah, I'm going to cook a meal tonight. Here's my frozen lasagna, put it in the oven, and no, she freaking layer it out, chili, you name it. She's definitely has shown that you also have to enjoy it, and she enjoys cooking. It's her downtime, but
yeah, Jessica's the same way. She, as busy, and over the last like 2 months, like I've just been eating more frozen stuff, a lot of chicken nuggets and fries. Tonight I had 3 frozen breakfast burritos and some fries. Her and the kids went out with my in-laws. It's Wyatt's birthday today, so I'm not. Wyatt. And here I am, So, but Jessica said it was cool. So that you go do your show with Kerr and you have fun. It was there's a little bit of a tone there, Kerr, but she works all day, even though she, and it irritates me because some people take advantage of her, because when they hear, she works from home, she has a lot of spare time.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a full-time fucking job, it's just, working from home,
fire, bro. You're kidding me.
Yeah. I know.
People think you work from home. They think you're just sitting around watching TV, get on the computer for a little bit, watching some TV, play some video games. It's like
now, and luckily with her job, like, sometimes she does get a couple hours of downtime, but then again, she could be working at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night when something needs to be done. it has to be done now. Like something needs to be changed. Something needs to be and then she works Sundays, so it's a 7-day-a-week job, so, but yeah, so she'll work and then she's got the kids, with all of their thing, even though they're older, but I mean how that is. But and then I'll come home and then she'll be kneading out pizza dough, on the counter. We're having homemade pizzas tonight, or she'll have everything out for these elaborate taco salad night or something else. And she, just make, and it's just like, I was just going to throw some fucking chicken nuggets in, or some chicken tenders in the fucking air fryer, and
I'm the same way. I don't, like Jennifer, just take out some fillets of the salmon and just put them out. I'll just throw them in the air fryer.
Yeah.
And, a bag of quinoa in the microwave. And
yeah,
I think I'm freaking doing a great job at that point. I'm cooking, right? That's me cooking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Putting a salmon in a piece of aluminum foil and freaking throwing it back in quinoa. And I'm like, well, fuck, dude, in about 15 minutes, man, I'll be eating a real meal.
That's it. Me left on my own. If I was the only one here for a couple weeks, or God forbid anything happened to anybody, it would just be food delivery, like the fresh food. I did like the factor for a while. Those meals were disgusting, but at least they were healthy and they were fresh meals. But yeah, that's all I would do. I don't have time to fucking cook anymore. It's no,
God, no. I used to. I was always. I would go to the shop. I would go to the store, and it was after the gym. I'd get a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah,
cut it into half. 2 nights. This is half chicken tonight, half chicken tomorrow, and a big salad. Bag salad. But like you said, Jessica, Jennifer. I mean, she's a good cook, and I think I'm just kind of accustomed to it by now with how well she cooks and how easily it comes to her. But there have been a few times where I've been amazed, and it's like, because, previous relationships, when you hear, I've worked all day, it just takes too long to make a meal. I'm like, kidding me? She 45 minutes for a Thanksgiving meal, and I'm talking not instant potatoes, boiling potatoes, whipping potatoes, freaking boiling and freaking cutting up fresh vegetables, freaking turkey in the oven, freaking biscuits, cranberry, the whole 9 yards. So
we talked on our trip to Kentucky. We were talking, and I'm like, Jessica, she learned how to make pasta sauce from scratch, and she does it. And now it's like 2 or 3 nights a week, because I could eat that all the time. Throw some cherry tomatoes in a pan, some garlic, some olive oil, cook them down, mash them up, throw in some freshly made pasta, and I'm like, God, it's just, I don't know. She keeps this keeps this this is not a well-oiled machine, Kerr. This household, but
we're a little squeaky ourselves.
She keeps this 87 Buick Century chugging fucking along. It's got one tire with steel hanging out of it, and it's just a little bit of an oil leak.
Pulls to the right.
That's it. Pulls to the right, smokes a little. You got to let her warm up, but she keeps this Buick Century that we got going here running, and I definitely don't say it enough, but I definitely appreciate her. So
same here, definitely.
I mean, look at for my dad's birthday party. She made these. I mean, she showed pictures of these cupcakes that she made. It was I took some to work with me, and we the day before, and the sales girl literally got like teary eyed.
Why would you share those people?
As she's eating this, she goes, "These are amazing." One of the guys up front just goes, "Oh, which bakery does she sell these at? I'd like to get some more." I go, "No, she just makes these for because she likes it and she has fun." We took some over my dad's birthday. We had a whole bunch of family down, and like 2 people came up to me and was like, Did she buy these somewhere? And I go, no, she made those. She goes, yeah, they had these beautiful stickers like on the plastic tins. I go, she made those stickers. Like what? I'm like, yeah. She made those. She found images, modified them, printed them out, cut them out, and then put them on the package just so it would be that much better, So yeah, I'd say Sogi Road. Yeah, what have you guys done? I don't know, not enough. We went and had a fun packed weekend in Kentucky, by ourselves.
Yeah,
We're
still trying to make it up for the zip lining in Kentucky and the cigars, and I did want to talk about that trip because we had a really good time. I appreciate you for inviting me along, Kevin. The trip up was a lot longer than anticipated with all the different accidents and road constructions. And they're still building Route 40 after the damn freaking hurricane and how much freaking damage was done. But, we did some cigar smoking, some talking, some bullshitting. And, we got up into Kentucky and, you did what you had to do. And then we went over and visited our friends at Executive Cigar.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah,
just sitting around and chatting with Chrissy and Curtis and the people that were there. And that's what that's what I love. About a cigar lounge because they're full of best friends that you haven't met yet.
Yeah,
we sat down and chat with a couple people on both nights, and we didn't know those people, and that's what I love about Cigar Lounge. You just meet some people, and you always find something in common. Always.
Yeah, it was a good time. They're good people too, Chrissy Curtis. They're both really good people, and it's a great cigar lounge, great location. We had a blast, and then the next day we wake up. And Kevin and I go. Kevin's got our so we go zip lining in caverns, right? And
underground, caverns.
Underground. Yeah. So we get there, and they're talking to us like, "Okay, did you sign the disclaimer? What was it?
The death and dismemberment waiver?"
And Kevin and they go, "Yeah." You go, "Well, I only have one person here." And I'm sure Jessica could probably relate to this. Kevin gave me that. Did you fill out the paperwork that I sent to you? An email? I did not. The look Kevin gave me was that scene from Cell when George is like, he gave me the same look my father gave me when I told him I wanted to be a ventriloquist. That's the look Kevin gave me. And I was just like, motherfucker, just all disappointment. And I walk over to the center and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And I thought, I'm just going to let Kevin have his moment of being irritated that I was not properly prepared, even though this really took me about a minute to do.
Yeah.
And then there was 13 in our group because we did have a young lady who was there by herself. But did go in partners and pairs. And
you two still stay in contact?
No, there's a funny story to that. Thanks, Kevin. But we got all rigged up, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was when we were walking in there, I kind of felt like the coal miners, going in for their shift when we first start going in, Kevin. I'm not gonna lie. And the first zip line was just gets you used to it. I tried to do the whole like hanging from the freaking the little hand grippy, but I realized it's just best to just kind of use that as a guide and let the harness do the work. And then after the next morning and the next couple of days, my core was so sore I didn't realize how much it works your core. God dang, man. So I think it was this after the second zip line. I'm taking a picture of Kevin. I'm like, stop! And there's this great picture of Kevin with the freaking shadow behind him. And I hear this behind me. Hey, can you take a picture of me and text it to me? And it was the young lady who was there. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I take her picture, and I was like, give me your number. I sent it to her, and I walk over. Kevin goes, hey, Kerr. Hey, you're talking to her a little too long. Where do you care? You guys, you got a number, Care? Are you going to hang out afterwards, Care? Are you going to go see her tonight after we're done ziplining, Care?
Yeah. Oh
like,
my God.
Torturing the shit out of me. But it was actually pretty interesting. It was a lot of fun. We had the guys who did our zip line were great. I just wish that one chasm that we did the rope, the first one that we did the rope bridge over, would have been lit to see exactly how deep it was.
Yes.
I felt that for us being underground, they had too much technical music going. I think it could have been a little bit creepier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It could have set the tone a little bit. And then the one thing that cracked me up through the whole fucking event was the last bridge was this incline bridge, and we were probably about a good 5 stories above the ground, and you could see the ground was flat. And we were going in pairs, in partners, because the last zip line was you got to race your partner. So they're like, okay, go. Kevin goes first, and they go, okay, you go, and I go. And I'm looking down because they always tell you never look down, but I'm like, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm fine. So I'm looking down, and I'm looking down. I'm looking. All of a sudden, I'm like, here's Kevin in front of me, not moving, frozen. And I'm like, all of a sudden I see Kevin taking baby steps. And I can hear the guy on the other end. Can't hear what he's saying, but I can hear him talking to Kevin. And I'm like, I think Kevin might be a little afraid right now. So I start moving a little bit closer. And finally got to the top. And I was like, Kev. You're like, oh. That freaked me out. I was like, really? You're like, oh
yeah. You know what got me was, it was to the point because you had like the steel cables holding up the bridge, but it, like you said, it went in an incline, and when you start off, the steel cables are down by your side, and so it's easy because you're moving along. You got the thick steel cables that are bolted into the fucking wall that aren't going anywhere. Well, the farther you climb uphill, those steel cables start getting higher and higher. So now you're holding on like this because that's your only option, because other than that, you had the ropes that went down, and you can't grab a hold of the ropes because they're not, they're tight, but they're no steel cable.
And you can't grab the line that you're connected to because that'll pull down, and whack the person behind you, which I was already getting whacked to begin with.
So at one point you kind of almost had to let go, and just trust. We were clipped in. My brain knew that, if I fell, it would suck. Like it was going to be an ordeal to get me up off that bridge. Like this was not going to be like they come out, they reach you up. Like this was going to be like a 30-minute fucking ordeal if I fell. That guy was he was super cool. He was just saying, just soft enough I can hear him. He's like, you got this. You got one step at a time. And he was just being very encouraging. And and then when I got within like 2 or 3 steps, like he reached his arm out, and I grabbed his hand, and he pulled me in. So that was and that's the bridge that I froze up on last time.
We got on top. I go, Kev. I said, you froze. You're like, yeah. I go, dude. I said, I was like really close to you. You're like, I fucking know I could feel you. he said it like
it was
I could feel you shaking the bridge.
It was tough. It was scary because it was a long drop, and all I could do was look down at my feet the whole time, one rung at a time, on that ladder. And
the way you said that though, you're like, yes, I know, I could feel you. And you were shaking the bridge, and I was like, oh. Yeah.
And then the one zip line where we went across, and he's like, you got to land on like this step stool, or like this little platform, which it wasn't too big, but it was like, and you got to make sure you hang on to the rope. And he goes, because there's nothing behind you. Like your feet are on the edge of this platform. Like there was no taking a step back. Taking a step back, you fell off the platform. Yeah, So I came in and I grabbed that rope from the guy, and he's like, hang on to this. I go, oh, I'm not letting go of this rope. I know what's not behind me, and it was it was nothingness.
But,
And,
but the last one was a race. And this is another Seinfeld episode, which cracks me up, is when Jerry's race, right? So it's a race, and they're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And I jumped, and when I jumped, Kevin was like all the way in front of me, and I was like, you went on 2.
Yeah.
Because the guy said, when you get to, because you couldn't see exactly what was going on at the end of the zip line. The only thing you were told was that if you grab the rope first, you get disconnected first. If you grab the rope second, you have to wait. If you miss the rope, you're going to drift back and dangle, and then I have to retrieve you. So at this point, every single zip line that we've done, if you went back and dangled, it was over a considerably high freaking drop. So I was kind of thinking the same thing you're thinking. I'm like, well, if I get down there and if you don't grab that rope, you're going to drift back. I'm going to be hanging over like 50, 60 feet. But when you got down there, it was like 4 feet. It was dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But I still contend you jumped early because you did not want to be to have to wait to get this harness. But I just thought I had a Seinfeld. And if you want to race again, I refuse to race.
Now I would like to do some of those zip lines that you see like through a forest or something where you're, hundreds of feet off the ground, like in the treetop canopies. I don't have a problem with zip lining, like going down, because like this guy, you had 2 points of contact on the zip line. If something happened to your primary, your secondary is going to be okay. So I understand the safety part of it. So I have no problem making that leap and just zip lining, because standing there over the precipice, nothing around you, and you're waiting, that the anticipation is what fucking kills me. But the actual zip lining, that's fun. I would love to do like some more zip. Like I'd like to go back, like, because we saw that sign in like Maggie Valley, Lake Junaluska.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a cool bullies trip. Is going over to Lake Junaluska in North Carolina for the weekend.
Whitewater rafting, right?
I think they have whitewater rafting. They got hot springs.
Yeah.
I think they have like slow raft drifting as well. But yeah, I think that would make for a cool, like, a few days, a bullies trip, because I got to get Jessica back, because that's her favorite place in the world is Maggie Valley. So we're definitely getting back up there.
We'd be up for that trip.
So I think it would be, smart cigar smoking arborist would love to zip line to the trees as well. As a tree climber, that's right up my alley. Yeah, I see those where they're zip lining through the canopy, the forest, and it's like just looks beautiful, and you're zip lining for a long way. I mean, some of them look, you're 1,000 yards or so. It's like you can't even see where you're gonna end up. That's what I would love to do.
Well, who the hell were you telling the story to? You like, hey, did you hear about the zip liners in Honduras where?
I was telling this. And that was the because the first time Jessica and I went zip lining, like I said, we were in Bristol, Tennessee, seeing a buddy of ours, and we saw a billboard, Louisville Mega Caverns, zip lining underground. So like a month or 2 months later, whatever it was, it was like on a Monday, or like, hey, you want to go do that zip lining this weekend? Like, yeah, let's go do that. So we just, booked a trip and went zip lining. And then the few days prior, there are all these zip lining accidents, happening. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we got to see. And then like the one where, like I said, it was a newlywed couple on their honeymoon. Wife goes zip lining out. Something happens. She stops in the middle, and third world country. It's why you don't do that shit. They send her husband, thinking that she was far enough away. And then he slams into her full speed, kills her instantly, and then stops. So they're both dangling there. She's dead, dangling there. He knows she's dead. He's badly injured, but he's alive, conscious, and then just looking at his bride laying there that he just killed. And so we saw that.
I saw Kevin freezing on a bridge. That's the most dangerous. That was the most Big
It's the same thing when you go parasailing in these third world countries and the shit breaks and then you're drifting and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Now you're hoping that you have some sort of parachuting skills because you're fucked. It was a blast though. And it was a good time. It really was. And I'd do it again. Like I said, I like to do it outdoors. And then afterwards, we went to the Louisville Slugger Museum, Louisville Baseball Bat Museum.
Yeah, museum and factory. It's where they actually make. Yeah.
For some reason, those people in freaking Louisville, they love their freaking Subway.
They do, don't they?
They love their Subway.
Was Subway? Are they from Louisville? No, actually, no. Because I think I saw that story. I think they're from New York or that area. But yeah, it's you ask, hey, where's a great place to eat? Well, if you go down the road, there's a Subway. I'm like, stop saying Subway.
Stop saying Subway. We went into a place that looked really good, but they were packed. And then we went to the pizza place, Luigi's. And I got to tell you, whoa, some of the best pizza I've had in a long, long time.
It was very, very good pizza. Wow. I had a tiramisu, which was to die for. And I'll preface this, I've had tiramisu made by a Michelin star chef. So I know when people say tiramisu, I know what fucking tiramisu tastes like when it's made from scratch. So I know it. And this was as good, if not better, than Chef Carl's tiramisu. It was just, I don't understand how they made it. Like I know how tiramisu is made, and I don't know how.
I saw it sitting there in front of you, and I was like, "Man, that looks good." And I was like, "Oh, maybe if coming to eat some, I may ask for a bite." I forget if I would have maybe pick a crumb off your beard. And then afterwards, I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to go over," and I'm like, "Hey, where did tiramisu go?" You're like, "I took the last piece."
Yeah, I took
like if there's a whole bunch of desserts there, I'm like, if that's the last piece of tiramisu, you know it's good. The pizza was fantastic. The freaking crust was thin, crispy.
We knew it was good when they were all speaking Italian.
Oh yeah.
So you knew right away when you heard that, you just knew like, oh yeah, we picked the right place.
Yep. But I'm like, I want chips, and they didn't understand it. And she's just like, go get them yourself. I was like, we're in the right spot.
Yeah.
But man, just fantastic food, great service. Really is, again, super nice people. I mean, they just were, they were quick too, especially when you wanted pizza that they had to reheat. Boom, right? I mean, Johnny on the spot. And then we went to the Louisville. That was a lot of fun too. I mean, that was interesting history of Louisville. I mean, even going to, since the 1800s, they've been making bats at Family.
Yeah,
get them from the forest on the New York Pennsylvania border. They bring them down. It's amazing to see how many checkpoints they go through to make sure they're getting the best possible wood.
Yeah, and just making the bats, knowing that this wood, the grain pattern runs this way, so they got to make sure they put the logo here, and we tell everybody, bat with the logo up or the logo, logo down, to reduce splitting or cracking, and
they put the dye on. The one thing I told Kevin, I was like, when you see these different shows, the men of industry, the people who built America, and everyone's throw out some criticism. I'm like, they had the area where they bring in the rods. They basically get everything down to a rod essentially, and they put it in this machine that makes the bat. They used to hand make them. This machine they got from Germany. It was like they were made the early 1900s, and they were designed to make table legs and spindles. Yeah. And they basically reprogrammed them to make bats.
Yeah, it was, and every machine was like that. Every machine that they had,
the stamper
was designed to do something else.
The stamper that stamps the Louisville logo on the bat was a stamper that they used to stamp silverware.
Yeah.
So they were repurposing all these machines that used to do something else. A lot of them, they're like, they don't make these anymore. These are from the early 1900s. They don't make these anymore. We had to recalibrate them. This now makes a bat in 2 minutes, where it would take freaking several hours to hand make them. And then they actually, when you think about the production of these bats and how many machines are involved, but they still, every bat, they put a drop of this dye on it, and then someone comes out with a freaking an architect's George's architect a ruler, and they measure the grain of this wood based off of this dye that's in the wood, and they have to freaking angle it. And if it's not angled properly, it goes to the regular baseball bats that you buy at freaking Dick's Sporting Goods. If it's the proper freaking grain and it's for some professional baseball player, then they can, like Kevin was saying, then they can tell what side of the bat you want to freaking have the impact. That's where they put their logo and so on and so forth. And then they got some guy just dipping bats. Yeah. Jeff was just dipping bats.
Yeah, sealing them. Yeah, I mean, nothing automated. They went through a heater, and then they went through a row of box fans that you buy at Walmart.
Hilarious! Oh my god, that was the best part of for me, because there are several reasons why it was the best part of the tour, because there's Jeff taking bats out, dipping them, hanging them. And after a couple of rows of bats got done, he would walk over with this little freaking thing, and he'd wipe the extra freaking sealer off the bottom. And then they went through, like Kevin said, they had 4 stacked box fans from Walmart. That's how they dried them. And then all over the floor, scattered, the blast pattern of whatever happened was multiple colors all over the place. So Kevin has to ask the girl who's freaking doing the thing, hey, what's up with all these colors all over the place? We've been doing this a while. It's old. It's like, no, that's not the right answer. Like, no. I understand you've been doing this for a while, but this is showing that something happened a lot. And I think what was funny too is the table that the bats were going over top of were being held up by 2 other baseball bats.
Yeah. That was the legs of the table. They weren't like part of like a structure, like a structure that they made out of bats. Something happened at one time, and they just shoved 2 bats under this table, and like they've been there for 20 years. I was just holding up this table, and you think Louisville Slugger, you think of because I've been to like immaculate factories where they make things, widgets and everything else. And everything is, it's these streamlines, these machines. No, this is a table held up by a couple of bats.
Like you said, it wasn't just some custom table that looked cool. It was like,
it wasn't
collapsed at one point.
I mean, so Jeff there with his whole dipping and everything else.
Oh my god!
I knew how. I just looking at that, I'm like, I know how to automate this. He doesn't have to have his stick with a pad on the bottom, tapping each one. You just have rollers, terry cloth rollers that, as the bats are going in, they just roll and they just clean the bottom. But notice Jeff with his stick patting them, and I automated that whole process in my brain while I was sitting there watching that. I'm like, well, this could be so much easier, but it's just like, but it works, and automate that, spend a couple $100,000 automating that, or you just pay a guy on a stick,
and
he just taps the bottom and gets the excess clear coat off. And
what was the other thing else we saw? The freaking the PVC. All the people from where they had the fluid coming in. It was like, I swear to God, I'll tell you what, man, great tour, great company. But when we got to that point, I was like, that guy looks like me and my brother-in-law. Me and Kevin's like put this together with it. It was like, hey, if you can build this area where you dip bats and seal them and then dry them, and you can only do it with these parts, what are you going to do? Yeah, that's what it looked like. And then after putting it together, it works so well that they're like, "Hey, do you want to upgrade?" It's like, no,
Yeah.
there's no need to upgrade. This is working just fine, and it was freaking inexpensive to do it. I can't remember what it was that we saw that had the PVC pipe because you pointed it out to me, and I started
Yeah.
laughing, and then we're like, "Oh shit, there's a bat." I was like, "There's a bat on the other side too."
Yeah, and there's honestly there's no reason to upgrade. It's I'm because I'm sure that they're competing with Chinese made bats, wooden bats. They're just it's just like every dollar that you can save, by using a bat as a table leg, and some box fans. That's just you don't have to increase your prices, And it was funny at each station. They had the TV playing, and they're kind of, someone talking over that. And then we had a real person talking as well. But you could tell the people that were hired to do that versus the locals that were, doing whatever segment. Because like on two of the TVs, I noticed that there are women, and then they're talking about Louisville. And then the one where someone said, here in Louisville, and I'm like, oh, you're not a native. It is not Louisville at all.
Not Louisville at all. No,
it's Louisville. But
and the workers too, because how you go to some factories and then you get a tour, and it's like, oh look, they either have like a robotic fake person showing you how, like in Chocolate World, how it's done, or you may have someone back there doing stuff. These were real workers, freaking checking in, walking around, doing their work. Here's Jeff doing his thing. The other guy prior to that was just taking bats, eyeing them up, and putting them through the freaking another grinder or something. There are people just going about their business, their job. So you can imagine saying, "Hey, Kevin, got your application. You want to work here? You want to do this? Are you okay with crowds?"
Yeah,
because we do X amount of freaking. Do you work well with it? Because we're going to do a bunch of freaking tours throughout the year, and the odds are someone's going to be watching you. People may engage you, may ask you some questions on what you're doing, But yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was interesting. Then at the end of the tour, when you went through the museum part of it, to be able to see the evolution of the bat from seeing like Shoeless Joe's bat, which literally there's no taper. It almost looked like the original rod that they yeah. And you look at the size and the weight of these bats. And then I didn't know that they during World War II they made the freaking stock for the M1 carbine. Which was pretty freaking cool. They had Roberto Clemente's bat in there. They had Babe Ruth's bats. Ty Cobb's bats. Just a really cool overall experience. And afterwards you can go in, you can get custom bats made. At the end we got our little baseball bat.
We got our little commemorative. You get one free. Little commemorative bat. About 18 inches long, maybe 12 inches, 18 inches long, a little mini bat. Yeah. I got mine over on the wall over there, or over on a sign, hanging up. So super cool. And then what was super cool is like the little cutoffs. They had like these bins of bats. You just pick your own, and they had bins of like the cutoffs. And like I guess you could just take it as a memento. It was just free,
a little souvenir.
Yeah, it's a souvenir. So we both grabbed one, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this kind of looks like a little cigar rest. Like I could do something with this. So I got home that Monday, sent an email to the to the museum, and I'm like, hey, can I get a box with about 100 of those cutoffs? And they go, yeah, we got those for you. And they just charge me for the box, and they'll be here tomorrow. I have a whole box of cutoffs, and they'll be here tomorrow. And it's just something cool, and I'll probably have them for sale on the website. They'll be essentially, I mean, sell them for $1, and then with plus shipping. So be able to throw them away. I'll do something cool with them, and maybe have like a little letter in there. This is the Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame. Louisville Slugger factory, and this is you got a little memento of history.
Because when they make the bat, when you look at a baseball bat on the handle, it's not created with the handle. There's actually a nub on the end of it that is that is a cylinder, and then it kind of
Yeah, I got
you
mine
got
right
one.
here.
And then what they do is they'll cut that off. They cut off the top and the end of the bat. Once it goes through the maker. So they had a big box of them, and Kevin and I were like, "Oh, we're like kids in a candy store." Like, oh, they said one bat each. They didn't say how many of these we can grab.
Yeah, so this is what they look like. So on the bottom you can see they have the imprint because they get locked in a lathe. So you'll have both ends. And then the machine comes and turns them down, and then they just part them off, and that's what you end up with. So kind of a cool, like, little chess piece looking thing. I'm going to put a groove in there and cut them down. And some of them, are they're all a little bit different from each other, depending on which machine they come out of. And I'll cut them all down to like the same length, and I'll do something with them. And I think that's cool because that's just making bats since the 1800s, and you can have like a little cigar rest, made from
that cigar rest could be the freaking the nub of one of the bats that were customized for one of the.
Oh, you know what I should do is I should reach out to Drew Newman, because they have the baseball bat.
Yeah.
The cigar.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, Drew, what if I made you, each one's a little different, what if I made JC Newman? Cause I got a buddy that's got my neighbor's got a laser engraver, and I laser engrave JC Newman, cause he's got a laser engraver that will actually turn these. And then he could
Could he do the logo from the cigar that's on the band?
I don't know. The Tampa Smokers.
Yeah.
That might be able to be done. So I should reach out to Drew, and
that'd be cool, because that's not taking a cigar prop or cigar rest and trying to make it into something it's not. That's actually from the Louisville freaking museum, cut from a bat.
Yeah, from wood that was grown here, milled here, or sawn here, milled here, produced here in the U.S.
and was on the end of a Louisville bat that was freaking cut off.
That's it. So I'm gonna have him do. I'm gonna bring one of these out to Drew at for PCA next week, because we got an interview with Drew. So I'll get with my neighbor and see if he can
laser engrave. That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, that would be
what he can do.
If anything, it'd be a nice little gift to give him.
Yeah. I'll definitely I'll give him a gift and be like, hey, if this is something you want to do, maybe have for sale, like in the factory museum, because they've asked me in the past about creating something for the factory museum, and I just don't have time to create anything super cool. I mean, feel honored that they wanted some of my stuff in the factory museum, but that's a win-win. Yeah. There we go. I like this spitball. That's how I get all my ideas, just spitballing like this. So
it's it was, I'll tell you what, man, it was a lot of fun. And then afterwards, Kevin and I, we were kind of told that they didn't have any smoking downtown, and then did some Googling. I'm like, hey man, there's a cigar factory right down the road from here. So,
like two blocks or something. Yeah,
it wasn't 2 blocks, Kev. It was a little bit longer, but we got our steps in.
I'm going to be honest with you, Kerr. I don't know how much a block is. So
it was many blocks. It was as they say, it was beyond a block. It was more than 1 block. But we went down, and it was called the what was it? Here it is. It's Havana Jack's Cigar Factory. Havana Jack's Cigar Factory. And Kevin and I went in there, and they had a big old humidor, and they roll their own cigars there on the premise.
And so they have which we found out, they have the largest population of Cuban immigrants outside of Miami.
Yes, yep, that was interesting as well because he would Havana Jack told us he had married a Cuban woman, and so we went in their humidor, and we were looking around. We're like, oh, okay, well, there's he's got a Connecticut, they have a Habano, they have a Maduro, and he's explaining to us the whole process of them, rolling the cigars and the tobaccos and so on and so forth. So I'm like, all right, grab that. Not interested in the Connecticut, so I'll grab a couple Habanos, I'll grab a couple Connecticut, I'll grab a couple of Maduros, and I hear him talking to Kevin, and I hear the word Candela. And then, Kev, you can take it from there because you had a conversation with him about the tobacco. Did I just put you on the spot and you froze up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm just like,
the Rustica.
Is Kevin frozen? Yeah.
Kevin frozen. What tobacco did he say that he used in the Candela? Rustica?
Oh, that's what it was. I was trying to think of what it was, the Nicotina Rustica, and which blew me away because I've been doing this for like 10 years now, and this is only the third time, maybe fourth time that I've ever heard anybody use that term, Nicotina Rustica. Because obviously Drew Estate, the Nica Rustica, that cigar was originally supposed to have Nicotina Rustica in it. Super strong black tobacco, like nicotine through the roof. And but it's very limited supply, very, very expensive. And it's not like your everyday cigar. Like it's not something that you can smoke a lot of. Yeah. And so they still use the name Nica Rustica, that just doesn't have any Nicotina Rustica tobacco in it. And that's what piqued my interest. And I'm like, what? Like I've never even seen that at Leaf Only. Like where are you getting?
I turned around because I heard him say that, and I heard Candela, so I was like, all right, I'll grab 2 of those Candelas then. So Kevin and I sat there. Kevin had a you had a rum and coke or a
rum and coke, and I think I did the Habano,
the faux rum and coke. We had the Habano now, and I got to tell you, it was a really good cigar. Good. He even showed us where they roll the cigars. They have one rolling table right now. So one side of all the cigars.
And we eventually did smoke that Candela.
I haven't gotten there yet. I thought the Habano was really good flavor. I was really impressed with it. I thought it was a fantastic cigar. What's your second cigar, Kev, by the way?
I'm smoking another cigar prop cigar from a different bundle.
I'm doing the West Tampa.
Oh, right on.
After that, I did smoke the Maduro, and I thought the Maduro was really good. I thought I liked Habano better, but I mean it's different cigar. And then we smoked the Candela, and I got to tell you, that was one of the best Candelas I've ever had.
It was an amazing Candela. It's the Candela that people don't like. So like if you don't like Candela, you would not like this Candela. It had that bitterness. It had that grassiness. The chlorophyll was not overpowering. It was
I thought it had another layer that kind of counterbalanced that Candela. It must have been the Nicotine Rustica because it was fucking flavorful, and it blew me away. And that was probably the biggest surprise of the cigars that I smoked in a while. That was a fantastic cigar.
It was really, really good, and I was really impressed with it. Because I've Karen and I both have said it 100 times, 1,000 times. There are more bad Candelas on the market than there are good ones. I mean, you can count on 2 hands on how many good Candela cigars are on the market, and this one would be on hand number 1. It was just the construction flawless on the cigars. I mean, absolutely they were dense. They weren't underfilled. They were perfectly rolled, tight and visible seams, caps that were just put on perfect. And they just performed amazing. And they were just really good cigars. And that Candela was just fantastic. So
They were.
big shout out to Havana Jacks. I don't know. I don't think they sell online. Actually, they might.
They sell boxes online.
Yes.
But I am going to call Havana Jack and have a conversation with Havana Jack's utilization of the taxes, because I think Havana Jack needs to have a conversation. Needs to hear about that. But because the taxes in Kentucky, we learned, because they each state is different. They've had some tax issues and increases, especially when you have smoking indoors versus outdoors. Remember that that's what the big conversation was about smoking indoors versus outdoors. And it's, again, every town, every state, every city has some sort of funky little bylaw or law changes. And, unfortunately, the cost and the expense gets passed along to the consumer, which is fine. But overall, great bar. He had a great selection of bourbons. You're in Kentucky, so as Kevin and I are walking down the street, you can't swing a dead cat around without hitting a store that's selling some sort of bourbon, because everybody has a store. The one disappointing part is, it's more expensive. I could go down to my local bourbon barn here and buy it cheaper. There are probably some bottles you can get only at their location, but I had the what was it, Monk's bourbon. That was a barrel select pull from a group of guys locally, and that place only carried the bottle. It was fantastic, very smooth bourbon. But I got to tell you, the cigars that we smoked that weekend. We smoked a lot of great cigars. I thought that the cigar that's made for executive cigars for Chrissy and for Curtis by Espinosa was a really good cigar. I like that. It's really smooth. Wasn't too crazy, wasn't too full bodied. It was a really good, smooth, well balanced cigar. But Havana Jacks, what a great cigar, man! And that Candela, I mean. I go back to Kentucky. I go back to Louisville. That's going to be my first stop, is to grab some of those Candelas. Really, it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's going on? Art, you gonna be at PCA?
What's up, Art?
So,
and then we went to your buddy's place.
Yeah, Jeff over at what is the name of Jeff's shop? What's that?
I said that place.
Yeah. Oh, right on. He's going to be at PCA. Jeff at oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the name of Jeff's shop. That's gonna bother me. I gotta go look it up.
It was not obviously Havana Jacks. It was Matt's cigar bar, right?
No, Riverside. Jeff over Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside.
And
was next door to it, right? That was
Match was it used to all be Jeff used to own both. Jeff moved to Nicaragua for a couple of years, so he sold that side of it, which is the bar side where you can drink and smoke cigars on there. But yeah, great little atmosphere. Nice seating. We
picked up that cigar. Got that cigar for Jennifer.
Yeah. And then we went and had dinner at the Red Yeti.
Oh yeah, I did enjoy our time at Jeff's place. We sat down, had a few drinks, and hung out, just relaxed. Again, another place, fucking hanging out with some dude. He's from Ohio.
Yeah,
the guy shooting his shit. So then we went down and had dinner at the Red Yeti.
Should have chose somewhere else.
Should not have gone to the Red Yeti.
But we had two recommendations from the Red Yeti. So I'm like, all right, let's do the Red, which I should have known. I'm like, oh, they have fried chicken. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get some good Southern fried chicken.
Fuck.
Yeah, but skinless chicken breast and then like fried. That's not fried chicken.
Yeah, that should have been actually walking in. and the girl going, "Did you guys just come in?" That should have
Yeah.
been the first sign. But yeah, having fried chicken that doesn't have the skin on it, that's not exactly fried chicken.
Yeah. So I went with a burger.
Yeah.
Hey, Kerry, you're gonna have to write that down. Booth 1605. We're gonna have to stop by and see art.
1605.
Yeah.
And
So
then what was it? And then what did I have? Did I have the burger too?
no, you had the what did you have?
I don't know, grits. I got grits instead of I got the burger too.
Yeah. Did you get the burger too?
I thought so. I got grits instead of fries, and their grits were pretty good. But
yeah, I had the burger. Then I opted to add on the $6 bacon, which didn't show up until like I was halfway done with my burger, and I had to say something. And then the guy eventually brought me 2 slices of bacon. I'm like, these are $3 a slice. And I told him, I said, just take it off the bill. I'm halfway done with my burger already. I don't want the bacon now, especially since I see that it's 2 slices of bacon. I'm like, oh, that's what, for $6.
Instead of doing the right thing and leaving the bacon and saying okay, he just took the bacon and said, "See ya."
Yeah.
I never got my soup that I wanted for my appetizer.
Yeah, we never got our waters.
Never got our waters, and then there was a spill at a table right across the way from us, and they brought out the nastiest, dirtiest freaking mop and bucket that if you're serving food and you're going to clean up an area, make sure that your bucket and your mop is at least clean and looks good and is not going to make someone not want to eat their meal, because this was pretty fucking gross. I ain't gonna lie. It was really disgusting. And our waitress was very inconsistent. And I thought at the end of the day, it was not, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze for what we got. So yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah. So that was definitely a disappointment, and the food was not cheap. They obviously they advertised farm to table, which is another bullshit claim that, that you hear that and all that
came from.
Yeah. And all that does is justify, the higher expense. Because several restaurants I worked at, I mean, I guess we could have claimed farm to table because we bought local, meats and vegetables. So I mean, we could have been farm to table unless you're one of those restaurants that you eat at the farm, like as you look out as you're dining and you see the fucking cows and the sheep in the background, and you see like the garden, like they have those.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually those are quite popular in Florida here, where you have those are true farm to table restaurants. Just a restaurant that buys local and then claims farm to table.
Or the owner owns a farm that's close by, and they bring it in. And I've eaten in places like that, but I give a lot of grace when it comes to restaurants. But man, oh man, we were actually there for 40 minutes till we finally got our burger. And after about 20 minutes, I'm like, I'm not getting my soup, Kev. I'm not getting my soup because I wanted it as an appetizer. So it was a rather disappointing dinner. But we pressed on, and went back to the executive and finished off the night there with a good cigar and good conversation with good friends. So all in all, it was a fantastic trip. I was out of sorts, man, when I packed. I told you that before. I was way fucking out of sorts because I just threw whatever I packed like I was going to the Keys.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, the first night, Kevin's like, okay, he got his flannel on. I'm like, dude, you got a flannel? You're like, yeah, we're in Kentucky. I was like, I didn't bring it. I brought an extra t-shirt. And he's like, why? I was like, because I didn't think ahead. I got like 2 pairs of shorts. Like if if I need, I had like a million pairs of underwear, which I always overpack underwear and socks, but I did not pack well. And then when we got in the truck, we're driving down through. I'm like, hey, Kev, can I have a cigar? He's like, well, I'm like, because I packed 3 in my travel humidor. And he looked at me and goes, 3? I'm like, I thought I put more in here. I was way out of sorts. And it's my own fault because Jennifer always helps me pack, right? She always does a great job helping me pack. And she had been doing some work. She was exhausted. So she's like sitting out on the bed as I'm packing. She's almost falling asleep. So no matter what I said, she agreed to. So I'm like, yeah, I got some extra shorts. She's like, okay. So and then the next morning, I just kind of always felt disjointed and disconnected. So it was not one of my finer moments of packing. Obviously, when you go to New Orleans, I'm going to do a better job. But overall, a great trip, man. I had a great time with you as I always do. You know, those moments where it's like, hey, what'd you and Kev talk about on the trip? I don't know, not much.
Couldn't tell you a single conversation we had. We
kind of smoked cigars, shot shit about things, and then there's some music. Just was quiet. It's the same thing when we go out when we're down there visiting. You guys, Kevin and Karen, you guys hang out at the cigar shop. Yeah, it's a really cool place. What did you and Kevin do? We smoked cigars. What did you guys talk about? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Just kind of hung out, smoked cigars.
That's it. It'll be that way with because we're next week. We're heading up. I'll pick you up at the Hilton again. Mm-hmm. We'll head out to New Orleans, and I think it's only once I pick you, I think it's only it's 7 hours, so not a long trip. From
we're gonna stop at the Funiac this year.
Yeah, we'll stop. Yeah, hopefully we have no stops. I wanted to stop at a couple of lounges that we didn't make it to last year, but Jessica's coming with us this year, and Jessica's not having any of that stopping.
No, Jessica's got to stop. We got to stop the shops, man. Come on.
Yeah, we got to stop at least one shop along the way.
Come on, man. My fucking name is Viajante Stogie Road.
Yeah, that's it.
Traveler who stops at cigar shops. You can't be.
That's it. So
we'll be like, I'm gonna just stop at freaking Bucky. We stopped at Bucky's.
Yeah, we stopped at Bucky's.
Stop at Bucky's.
Yes.
Never stop at a Bucky's on a Sunday. Never.
Yeah, luckily, we stopped on a Friday, which it wasn't that bad. It was packed, but it wasn't that bad. We still made it in and out in relative a quick amount of time.
Pretty quick.
But that Sunday. Yeah, we were in and out. I mean, we walked in and I don't even
think we walked in, Kev. We pulled in and we're like, fuck this.
Oh, yeah. No, we just pulled in. Yeah, we never even we spent 20 minutes in the parking lot. And
it was a 30-minute diversion and we never, ever got out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was on a Sunday because everybody in that tri-state area says, hey, Ma, load up the car. We're going to Bucky's.
That's it. Everything in the park. All you saw these big families coming out with all these kids, and everybody. That was their Sunday, and that's what they did every Sunday. Every Sunday they went to the Bucky's. That's what they call it, the Bucky's.
The Bucky's.
And to get whatever, and it's never again on a Saturday or Sunday. Saturday, I'm sure Saturdays is just as bad. Saturday and Sunday.
When you go into Bucky's with someone, whether it's your significant other or a friend. Never, ever, 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 ever allow that person to go, hey, I'm going to go look for something. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Or you make a game plan. You make a game plan like, we're coming in together. I will meet you at the car when we're done.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't look for me. I'll be at the car when you're done.
Kev and I were ill prepared and for that moment where I had my Bucky's barbecue sandwich, my Bucky's Diet Cola, and Kevin goes, I'm going to go look for some freaking Bucky balls and pickles. And I said, okay, I'll catch up with you. And then that was the last I seen of Kev. So I started meandering around the Bucky's freaking candy center, which literally was a they should have had advertisements for diabetic medication there. Just saying.
Yeah.
So as I'm standing there, I'm like, where the fuck's Kev? I'm like, I'm standing in between Bucky's barbecue, Bucky's freaking candy, and then I'm looking at steer heads with Bucky's freaking painted on top of them and freaking glassware. Luckily, I see a tall, bald man walking very quickly through the crowd like he's being chased by the freaking authorities. That was my cue. That's Kevin. So then I get behind Kevin and I'm trying to weave it out, and I realize he'd already paid for his stuff. Luckily, they do very, very, very fast service when you do stand in line, unless you're behind someone who bought 30 different types of Bucky, beef jerky, which I did. But eventually we did connect outside. But for about a good 10 minutes, I stood there circling this Bucky's, candy area going, oh, where the hell Kevin went? Like Bucky's is Walmart. Bucky's is like a Walmart. And then just like, yeah.
But that food was good. Them homemade potato chips they make. Those were so good. I had the barbecue turkey, the hand carved turkey barbecue sandwich. Oh my God. Like I said, they're putting a Bucky's it'd probably take me about 20 minutes to get to the new one that they're building here. And I will definitely, on occasion, go up for some chips and a turkey sandwich.
It was good. I will tell you that. I mean, it was like, okay, I looked at the price. I'm like, but you know what I got? The brisket sandwich was so fucking big. Chips were fantastic. My Bucky's Diet Cola, because I kept going. There was like 50 stations, and I'm like, where's the Diet Coke? And I'm like, okay, I see a pattern for me here. It's Bucky Diet Cola. But anything you could imagine was there. And there was a couple of tempting different things I wanted to get, but good food. It was, I thought the price, I wasn't too pissed off about the price, but that Sunday when we rolled in, I was like, Kevin, because what they do is they have a gas station, which is like, I don't know, what is there? 100?
There's I think that's what they're known for. Minimum of 100 gas pumps.
100 gas pumps. And you know what that means? Those are 100 actually, if it's 100 gas pumps and there's 2 on either side, that's 200 parking spots that people park their car in for gas and then freaking go inside.
Yeah, and that's it, because we originally rolled in because I needed gas.
Yeah,
and yeah, 90% of every car there's nobody in it. It was just parked, and that just says a lot about the people. If it's that busy and you get gas and you leave your car there, and knowing that there's a line of people waiting to get gas, you're an asshole. That says a lot about. That says a lot about you personally, your morals in life, and how you, how other people see you, because you have friends that don't like you, your spouse, you're probably going through something, you're in therapy together, and
you're the problem.
You're the problem, and you're an asshole if you park at a gas pump and get out when there's a line of fucking people waiting.
Yeah. When you hear stories about that one friend that everybody talks about when no one else is around, you're the one they talk about.
Yeah.
It was very noticeable. Like I said, those are 200 parking spots. And I looked at Kev, I'm like, Kev, you're not getting gas. We're not getting Bucky's. We got to get the hell out of here. And it was about a 30-minute diversion from when we got off the highway. And, but I was glad we stopped on the way up. He picked up Chrissy some of her Bucky nuts or Bucky balls or whatever the hell.
No, it was she had the chocolate and then the dill pickle chips. Yeah, we didn't get the beaver nuggets.
Beaver nuggets, that's what it is.
Beaver nuggets.
That's just in itself is a disturbing thought, but a pretty cool place. I mean, I think I think, it was like, should I buy a Bucky shirt? I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that person to buy a Bucky shirt. But I'm sure whatever you wanted to buy would have had Bucky on it. Like I said, I did see one of those skulls with the horns and had Bucky's on them.
Yeah, and it's a great place to work. I know people are clamoring to get jobs at this one. I think like starting pay is like $18 to $20 an hour. Like a store manager, can make a couple $100,000 a year. You can have 100+ employees working on a day. The turnover is extremely high because their code of conduct is beyond strict. Like there's no cell phones. Like you don't keep one in your back pocket. Like you keep it in your locker. You get caught on your cell phone on the floor, you're instantly fired. If you're eating any food that you don't have a receipt for, you're instantly fired. Like there's none of these 3 strikes and you're out for a lot of their rules. It's the first time you're fired. We got a list of applicants that are waiting to take your job. So
it was I was glad that we stopped, so I'll be interested. But yeah, going to New Orleans, we're not going to be doing any Defeatiac Springs revisits. We're not going to take Jessica down a trip memory lane and be like, hey, that's where Kevin and I had our Pizza Hut lunch. I mean, we had our lunch.
We'll have to find something to do on Friday because we did the Titanic Museum last year, which sucked.
That was fun.
It was a little cheesy, the Titanic exhibit. Yeah, but it was fun.
That's because all the pieces like, oh my gosh, is that from the Titanic? No, that's a replica from the Titanic. That's used in the movie. I was like, well, hold on for shit. I don't want to see James Cameron Titanic shit. I want to see Titanic shit. So
because we only get really the one day to ourselves, which is Friday. After we get our tickets, and then we have the opening dinner Friday night. So
I thought the best part about that trip was, when you go into the Titanic Museum, and you pay the money, they give you a ticket, and you are one of the passengers who died on the Titanic.
Yeah,
and the people behind us, this lady's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a 5-year-old little boy."
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. They're getting upset, and I'm just like, Kevin, what the hell did you get me into? I got old people in front of me who are like looking at stuff. I got a lady behind me in tears because she's a freaking 5-year-old passenger who died 100 years ago. I'm like, but we did get to do the, I'm the king of the world in front of the Titanic.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll have to do maybe one of the graveyard tours or cemetery tours this year or something.
I think that one I'd rather sit through a hokey cemetery tour and have someone try and tell me there's orbs than sit in a faux rowboat while I watch the scene of lost love trying to find each other on a faux 3D screen inside the room.
Yeah, I still remember the because we did the tour of the the big cemetery where Nicolas Cage has his monument, which he had to because the hotel he bought in New Orleans is haunted.
Yeah.
So, and nobody wanted to stay there. It was haunted. So he found one of these what is the priestesses, or whatever you call them. Okay, you got to get a plot in this big cemetery, and then you're basically you're a local now, and then the ghost will leave your hotel.
You got to cut that deal.
But in order to get into this, you have to be from New Orleans, going back to the 1700s. These are family plots. You cannot get into this one. So Nicolas Cage paid all this money for a genealogist and did all of this research and found out he was related to one family that had a plot there, and he bought the plot from the family. So his monument is there. But then the one family had this huge mausoleum, and going back hundreds of years, and at any given time there could be dozens of people in there. And I'm looking around. She's giving me like, any questions, and I go, where's all the liquid go? And she's like, what? And I go, yeah, I mean, if you get a couple dozen people in there, decomposing, like that's a lot of, like, our bodies are 90% water. Like, where's all that liquid go? And she's like, well, I don't think that's how it works. I go, well, I think that's exactly how it works.
Where's how it works.
Yeah, where's that water? And then like they glazed over it and like, okay, on to the next thing. And everybody's looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? Want to know where the water goes, like where all these people go, But but that's when I learned, it's what we also learned, like people are only in there because if you're Jewish, you have to be buried for like 365 days, like 1 year, so that you get put in there, and then after a year they pull your cremains out, what's left of you. And then I can't remember what happens to it after that, but then that leaves a spot open for the next family member, to go in. That way the family can be buried, in this.
Gotcha.
In this cemetery, but yeah,
rotating mausoleum.
That's it. Hot continent. So
that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I would like to go do something like that. I think that would be pretty cool, is to go on some sort of voodoo ghost tour,
yeah,
fairy tour or something like that. I mean, you're in the most haunted city in
oh yeah, got to be probably the most haunted city outside of Salem. I would say more haunted. I would say it is the most haunted city. Maybe outside of Salem and St. Augustine, but St. Augustine is like it's like so new now. It's like you can't really picture that as a.
Well, you can. I mean, yeah. So actually, I knew this. That Savannah, Georgia, is widely considered the most haunted city.
Oh, is it Savannah? Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Savannah, yeah. With the burning of all the plantations and
actually, you're right. It does contend with New Orleans, Salem, and St. Augustine. Those are the areas that are the most. Because we did a ghost tour when we were in St. Augustine, over on the peninsula where the lighthouse is. It was terrible. It was horrible. I mean, it was fun because it was Joe and his girlfriend, and it was Abby and me and Jennifer, and it was not haunted. The only thing that really was the scariest thing was it sitting in a room listening to this girl tell a story, ghost story, and it was like 110% humidity in the room, and I was like, listen, you're soon going to be part of this story. What I do to you is going to be on the next story. It's going to be like, hey, do you realize that in this room, several months ago, a guy went crazy because of the humidity and killed one of our freaking, our people who was because it was terrible. And then we had to go around, and it was pretty interesting to hear about the history of the lighthouse. And all those who looked after the lighthouse. It had the first female lighthouse, superintendent, you would call them.
Yeah.
And the cats that fell from the top of the lighthouse and lived and all that shit. But
we did one in Asheville, which was really cool. We had one of the guys that our tour guide was like a little bit too into what he was doing. And a
lot of lighthouses in Asheville. There's a lot of beachfront, a lot of
it was Asheville. Yeah, it was the we got to like the center of Asheville, and they had like an and it was like a Civil War era statue, and he said luckily it was who owns the land is that the statue is under, and who owns the statue, like they can't really figure it out. So it was one of the statues that survived of the tearing down of the statues. Like they wanted it removed, because God forbid we remember history. And the guy was like, thankfully, nobody can figure out and agree on like who owns it and everything else. So they couldn't remove it, and I'm like, and luckily that has all kind of quelled down now. So, it was super haunted. did some cool stories.
Yeah.
You know, a big hotel next to the fire department that was there, and he told the story. And it was like in the papers, and he's like, you can Google it. It's out there. You know, a lot of the firefighters like were out washing their trucks one day, just doing their firefighter stuff, and they saw someone leap from the top of the hotel next door. You know, commit suicide. You know, all the firefighters watched this person leap to their death, got all their gear, ran over there to help this person. They got there, and there was nobody there. And yeah, and that was a super creepy story. But yeah, he goes, all of these he goes, you know, nobody ever believed it. Like all the stories, like, yeah, whatever. And then as they're watching this person leap to their death, ran over there and nothing. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's super cool. You know, so
yeah, we had when my sister first moved down here, we went on a ghost tour Greenville, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was. I'll tell you how terrible it was. The guy, Jason Prophet, R.I.P. Jason Prophet, I think is his name. It is something like that. He was doing his whole tour, and he's like, you know, this girl who was his assistant kept insisting that there were orbs, and I'm like, no, that's the fucking street light, you know, 5 blocks away. So midway through, I'm like, I got to use the bathroom. So I went down the block, and I'm like, you know, hey, I found a little sandwich shop. I'm like, I got to use your bathroom. Like, you got to buy something. I'm like, oh, you sell beer. Can I buy a beer? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll have beer. So I went to the bathroom, and I was like, this tour sucks. Can I buy another beer? Yeah. So I show up at the end of the tour. My brother-in-law standing there. I go, hey, what's up? He goes, I go, man. I said, it took me forever to find a bathroom place. He goes, You had beers, didn't you? I go, well, I had to buy something to go pee. He goes, how many peas did you have to buy? I said, I bought like maybe 4 beers. He's you son of a bitch. Why don't you take me with you? He goes, I just had to sit there and hear the story of this hotel and how they see a shadowy figure. And if you look hard enough, he goes, I just think the people who were staying at the hotel were getting annoyed that we were staring at them. I was like, yeah. I was down at the sandwich shop having a couple of beers while you guys were looking at people, you know, and checking into the hotel. But it was lame.
Oh yeah, and after or before, I think it was before our tour. No, it was after. I think it was after our tour. I can't remember which one it was. But Jessica and her friend Patty, who we met down there, and that they wanted to go to the tapas place. I'm like, fucking tapas. And so we get in there, look at the menu. Topless. Yeah. So we get in there, like I look at the menu, I'm like, there's nothing here I want. I go, but they have some drinks, and it was like the, you know, super like comfy couches that you're on, like pillows everywhere. I'm like, I'm fine sitting here. I'll just leave. You know, I was super comfortable, had a couple drinks while they ate. You know, I didn't want, and Jessica's like, oh, he was pouting because they didn't have, like, no, they didn't have any fucking good food, and I didn't want fucking tapas. So afterwards, we were walking through the city, and I'm like, Irish pub right there. I go, I'm getting something to eat. So we went in there and sat down. They ordered some drinks, and I ordered some amazing food. And then Jessica's looking over at my food, and I go, you want some of this? She's like, yeah. So she's eating. I'm like, you know, you bragging about that fucking tapas place having good food. She fucking ate half my fucking dinner like she'd never eaten before. I'm like, yeah, this is where we should have went.
Where's the first? Where'd we take you? Remember when Jennifer, when you came to visit?
Yeah, tapas.
Fucking tapas. And Kevin was like, didn't eat anything. On the way home, he's like, hey, can you stop by McDonald's?
Yeah, but at least they had, you know, like, but at least they had decent food. I think we had some like ribs and like some chicken wings. They had, but yeah, you know, it was like, oh, let's get some ribs. They brought out two ribs, 2 chicken wings, like 1 slider, and I'm like, fucking tapas. You know, it's like, yeah, okay. So here's the deal: you have these 2 ribs. Can I get the rest of the rack?
Yeah,
you know, it's
no, tapas you can't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but no, you can have these 2 ribs for $9, you know, and it's just like, motherfucker.
I remember when you came to visit, it was like that tapas place. I look at your face and just like, oh, okay. Was that Irish place you're talking about?
Yeah, I know. God, but we all fucking left that place hungry.
Oh yeah, I listen. I love tapas, I do, but you know, to your point, when you leave, it's like
Yeah, I know.
Motherfucker, man, that was a great place. They had great food. I'm gonna go hit Taco Bell
Yeah.
because it was good, but it's not filling. Um, when you started talking about tapas, I was like, shit. I remember that's the first place we took you to, and you came to visit.
That's it. So, all right, man. I can't believe it's been 2 hours already. So,
No
all right,
UFO talk. No UFO.
what's that?
Our Artemis. No UFO talk. Our Artemis do.
No. Our Artemis
Wow.
2, the biggest scam perpetuated on the American people, Artemis 2. So, yeah. So,
They are going to break a record that is the farthest distance humans have traveled from Earth. And
yeah,
I love watching seeing the pictures on Facebook where it's like Artemis 2 picture comes back and they show the flat Earth.
yeah.
The pictures.
And you know, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares.
It's like, you know what, man? They're going to rendezvous with the freaking aliens on the moon base. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. That's all we're doing.
Because you know what? Honestly, it's not only that people aren't talking about it, and I hate to add this in at the end of the show, but you figure it's the first time we've been to space. First time we've been to the moon in what, 30, 40 years? 50 years?
Yeah, 1972, I think.
Yeah, almost 50, 50 years, 50-some years. And with the technology we have today, you would think that there would be a fucking running loop of cameras of freaking them, what they're seeing in space, the moon, the Earth, and everything. And we turn on TV and it's like, oh, look, there's a station dedicated to Artemis. So we turn it on, and I sat there for 10 minutes listening and talk about how the fucking toilet's not working.
Yeah, the whole toilet. That's the only thing we learned. But they can't have coverage because it's a clandestine operation. Like, we're picking up some stuff, you know, from
that's
the
moon.
We're signing the treaties because they can't come here, you know. So we're doing a lot of shady ass shit.
It's not that it's not that people don't care. It's that they didn't make it. It's equivalent to the piss poor job that Disney did of promoting the Han Solo movie. You can't bitch and complain that the movie did shitty when you did a horrible job of promoting it. You can't sit there and talk about and criticize that people don't care about it or follow what's going on with Artemis 2 if you did a pretty shitty job. And you know what? This is because the media, what they want to do is they want to freaking take a picture of Trump and say he's hunched over, he's at the hospital, there's something wrong, or something's going on with Iran, or blah, 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 blah. You know what? This is a big freaking deal, man. And if it's a big deal, they should be cameras. I shouldn't have to see a selfie of the fucking capsule as it's flying through space, which is, you know, you could have taken that picture and just fucking blacked out behind it as it was sitting on the freaking pad, you know, as it was sitting on the launching pad. You know, I want to see live freaking pictures. I want to see video of them going past the fucking moon.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
We can't see that because we can't see it live because they can't block out what we're not allowed to see, you know. So that's it. People should be asking questions. Why aren't we seeing this? Why are we spending? Why did we spend $1 billion? $1 billion just go up. Nothing. Almost nothing can be reused. Yeah,
I've seen a handful of pictures. Picture of the Earth, picture of the moon. And I'm like, yeah, the moon looks farther than it does here on Earth. Just you'd figure if you were traveling close, you know, towards something, that it would be bigger. But yeah. I'm just irritated by the whole thing because I figured that, you know, there should be better coverage, and you know, we're going to learn about aliens soon enough. So hopefully
that's it. That's it. So. All right, everybody. We'll see everybody back in 2 weeks. We'll have hopefully we'll have Brandon from Apostate Cigars on as we normally do for a PCA wrap-up show. We'll maybe we'll get Ryan on the show. Maybe we'll do like a Wednesday night show, and then Ryan
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So
3 weeks will be the 27th. Yeah, today's the 6th.
So so maybe we'll have Ryan on with us and ask the questions that, you know, he is interested in, maybe some of the viewers that we don't think of. So but either way, we'll see everybody back in 3 weeks, and hopefully we'll have some alien news by then. And then,
we won't have any alien news by then. We're
we
gonna
won't.
wait till when whatever Trump's gonna do in July or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. But yeah, this whole moon thing is just gonna be, you'll get some. I mean, I could probably hop on AI and probably create better pictures than what they'll send us.
That's it. All right, everybody have a great night.
We'll see you.
See you.